Welcome back. This is John from the University Skills Academy, and today we're going to talk about when to study and how to use your time on campus. Now, if you don't review, you won't recall. Here's a graph of what your retention is like. Percentage remembered on one axis and days with no revision on the other. So if you do not review within the first day, you lose 50% of what you've been exposed to in the way of new knowledge. If you don't review within a week, you lose a little more, right? You only retain about 30%. If you don't review within a fortnight, you retain less than 20%. And if you don't review within 3 weeks, you lose it all. Pretty serious. So, when to review? Ideally, you should review your new knowledge within 1 hour of having been exposed to it. If not possible to do that within 1 hour, at the very worst, within 24 hours of being exposed to that new knowledge. That is the ideal scenario. Therefore, we want to set up our life around achieving that or completing that ideal scenario and living by it. How often should you review? Ideally 4 times. First within 24 hours. The second revision should take place within 1 week. The third revision should take place within 2 weeks. And the fourth revision within 3 weeks. And this can be run as a self-test. Self-testing is a very good means of consolidating knowledge. This is what will happen if you follow what I've outlined here. Your retention. If you review within 24 hours, you will keep about 75% of that new knowledge. If you review it a second time within the week, you'll jump to about 85% of that new knowledge. If you review within the fortnight, again for the third time, you are likely to get 95% of that new knowledge. And if you review it a fourth time at week 3, you may well go to 100% of that new knowledge. And then it's there. It's concreted into your head. You don't need to review it again. It's a known set of skills. How does this translate into our daily schedule? Well, from our last lecture, let's look at what Monday appears to be. This is what a standard Monday looks like. Typical first year business course. Statistics, accounting, law, information systems. So we travel to uni as previously discussed at 7. We're in class by 8 for accounting. 2 hours off, 3 hours of accounting, an hour off, an hour and a half of law, an hour and a half off, an hour and a half of law, home, food, rest, bed. Pretty serious Monday. This is how we can use those gaps. With 2 hours between the accounting lecture and the accounting tutorial, I would get myself to a quiet room and or a library, and I'd squeeze in 15 to 20 minutes revision from the lecture, a 5-minute break, 15 to 20 minutes preparation for the tutorial, and then I'd likely shift this 4 o'clock gym session to an 11 o'clock gym session or a little earlier, do a 30 to 40 minute workout, cool down, change, get to class on time. What does that actually look like? End of class at 5 to the hour, 5 minutes to move to that empty room with no one else in it or a library, 5 minutes to unpack your books and settle in, 15 minutes of revision, 5-minute break, 15 minutes of preparation, move to the gym, 5 minutes to change, 40-minute workout, 5 minutes to cool, 5 minutes to shower, 5 minutes to change, 5 minutes to rest, 5 minutes to move to class. You're in class 5 minutes ahead of the tutor. If you had a harder study session by 5 minutes in your revision and 5 minutes in your preparation, you could cut out your workout by 10 minutes and still be 5 minutes into class before the instructor. Keep going with this pattern. After the gym, 3 hours of accounting back to back. It's pretty solid. So somewhere in there you want to squeeze in a light meal or a snack. Don't have a heavy meal, it'll affect your concentration. But keep your energy up and therefore your concentration up. There's an hour gap between the end of the accounting lab and the law lecture. So again, 15 minutes review, 20-minute break, 15-minute prepare for the law, get to class. An hour and a half of law, there's a gap here, again, an hour and a half. Squeeze in 15 minutes of revision for the law lecture, a 20-minute meal break probably. Again, only a light meal. Don't be bulking up on a 15-course feast. And then a 15-minute preparation for the tutorial. Now you've got an hour and a half break. Maybe some mental downtime would be a good idea, because law tutorials are fairly notorious for being academically challenging. So if you have a decent break mentally between the lecture and the tutorial, you might be able to explode into that tutorial and impress the class and the lecturer. That's metaphorically explode. Finish the law tut. Get home. Maybe some concurrent activity by the way of off-topic reading on your transport if you can manage that. If not, you've got a couple of hours from home to bedtime, maybe squeeze in 30 minutes worth of law revision and then maybe 15 minutes of planning for the next day. Therefore, it's a bit of a long day, maybe a 15-minute sleep in tomorrow. Somewhere in these 2 hours you need to squeeze in a meal and a shower, get ready for bed. Maybe some off-topic reading, maybe some family time, something to prep so it's a good sleep. Let's have a look at what we've done today. It's a really busy day. This is 9.25 hours of academic work in one day, 2 hours of travel, at least 30 minutes of gym work. Now, this is what a high achiever does. So if you can do this, this makes you a high achiever. Well done. Well done on planning it. Now go and do it. What does Tuesday look like? Well, I would be considering law exercises and statistics. Tuesday has a lot less contact time. 9 unallocated hours on campus. How are you going to use those unallocated hours? Plan it. Let's review what we've looked at here today. We have looked at the rate of forgetting and the rate of remembering. How best to review within the hour, if not within 24 hours. Review 4 times to make sure that knowledge is just a permanent fixture of your intellect. How to use time between the classes, and that's review, refresh, prepare. Where possible, keep the energy up during the day with light meals, not heavy meals. And that's been the session. Of these things, which 2 can you pick and implement immediately? Grab 2 of these ideas and then pick up the rest of that list and integrate it into your time. This has been John from the University Skills Academy. Thanks for your time and your trouble, and we'll see you in the next session.